beautiful apartment, a friendly agent, and a deposit paid to secure the place before it's gone. Days later, the keys never arrive. Tonight, we tell the story of the rental deposit vanish in Cape Town and surrounds, how it works, why it keeps spreading, and the simple checks that keep your money safe. We will stick to what is publicly reported and widely observed patterns, keep private individuals anonymous, and separate confirmed facts from disputed claims. Cape Town is competitive for rentals, especially in neighborhoods like Observatory, Rondebosch, Sea Point, and the City Bowl. The pressure creates urgency, and urgency is the fuel of the scam. Our narrative follows 3 composite cases built from common, publicly discussed patterns. These are not singular, private stories, they are typical mechanics. The goal is to make you scam-resistant, not to sensationalize anything. In the first composite, which we call the viewings that vanish, a recent graduate finds a 2-bed apartment in Observatory that is listed well below the area median. The agent responds immediately on WhatsApp and runs a quick pre-screen with friendly voice notes. A same-day viewing is offered, and later that evening the message arrives. The owner accepts you. Pay the deposit now to secure before the weekend viewings. The invoice looks professional, and the account name resembles a known agency. She pays. A generic receipt follows. On the handover day, the phone goes silent, the WhatsApp status disappears, and the listing is gone. What is confirmed is that a bank transfer occurred and the listing later vanished. What is disputed is who the agent truly was, because identities are often borrowed or stolen. The mechanic in play is urgency combined with brand camouflage. In the second composite, called The Overseas Owner, a couple sees a Sea Point studio that appears on a community group and in a forwarded email. The owner is said to be a doctor working abroad. The email chain is formal and includes a passport scan, a lease template, and a promise of a full refund if they are unhappy after a 24-hour inspection. The only catch is that the keys will be sent by courier once the refundable deposit clears, and they need to pay now so the courier can dispatch. A tracking link appears after payment, but the page never updates and the courier is not a real service. What is confirmed is that the tracking page is a template that has been reused in many incidents. What is disputed is whether the passport scan belongs to the scammer or to a victim of identity theft. The mechanic in play is an escrow-style promise without real escrow. In the third composite, called The Real Flat, Wrong Landlord, a young family meets a person who presents as a current tenant with permission to sublet on behalf of a cousin overseas. They view a real unit in Rondebosch. The building access key works, the corridors are shown, and a handwritten receipt is provided for a reduced deposit because time is short. Handover day arrives, and a key is given that opens the building gate but not the unit. The true landlord denies any agreement with the family or with the supposed cousin. What is confirmed is that the building key worked while the unit lock did not. What is disputed is whether the cousin exists. The mechanic in play is piggybacking on a legitimate property to create credibility and rush payment to a private account. Underneath these 3 composites lies the same structure. First, there is lead capture on Facebook, Marketplace, WhatsApp, Telegram, and property portals. Listings use attractive photos that are sometimes copied from old ads or short-term rental pages, and the price sits noticeably under the market. Second, there is a credibility kit which includes a logo in the profile picture, the name of a known agency with 1 letter changed, and documents such as a lease template, an invoice, a passport or identity scan, and a generic receipt. Third, there is urgency pressure that sounds like 5 viewings today, pay the deposit to secure, or the owner is overseas and we will courier keys. Fourth, there is a frictionless payment rail which may be instant EFT, immediate clearance, or a consumer fintech wallet. The language promises a refund window, but the money never touches a ring-fenced trust account. Fifth, there is disappearance, where the phone number rotates, the profile is deleted, and the domain parks. Sometimes there is even a second ask, such as an admin fee to release the refund, which attempts to double dip before the victim recognizes the pattern. You can cut through all of this with a simple process that runs before money moves. The first step is a title check or deeds lookup, where you confirm that the registered owner matches the person or agency claiming to rent the unit. If an agent is involved, request a signed mandate or authority to let, showing the owner's name and the property address. The second step is an agent and listing cross-check. Search the agency on the professional register. Call the office landline you find on the agency website or in Google and confirm both the agent's mandate and the bank details for a trust account. Do not rely on a cell phone number in a listing to validate the identity. Use a public number you found yourself. The third step is a live video verification at the property. Ask for a live video call, with consent to record, in which the person shows the building entrance, the unit door number close up, the inside of the unit, and a recent utility bill with the address and the owner's name. Video of keys turning in the correct door is a practical check. Access to the gate or the foyer alone does not prove a mandate. The fourth step is to request a written lease draft before you pay. The draft should name the proper owner or the proper lessor, include a clear deposit clause, and reference the use of a trust account or a genuine escrow. If you are told deposit first and lease later, pause the process. The fifth step is a bank account name match. The account should be in the exact name of the agency's trust account or the registered owner. Use your bank's beneficiary verification feature or account name check to confirm a match. Avoid paying instant clearance fees to unknown personal accounts. If the agent claims that their trust account is not available, call the agency office and ask for the official trust account details. If the person discourages you from calling the office, treat that resistance as a warning sign. There are several reliable red flags that should slow you down. A price that is significantly below the area median and pressure to pay the same day is the first red flag. An agent who cannot show a signed mandate or a letter of authority from the owner is the second red flag. An escrow-style promise that mentions a refundable period but directs payment to an ordinary personal account is the third red flag. Identity documents and invoices that cannot be validated, or email addresses that differ by a single letter from the real agency domain, form the fourth red flag. Viewing gymnastics that refuse to meet inside the unit and only offer building access form the fifth red flag. If you encounter two or more of these in a single process, stop and verify independently before you send any money. If you are at the edge of payment and you feel the push to move fast, consider using language that buys you time without escalating conflict. You can say, "We will proceed the moment your office confirms your mandate and trust account by landline, and we will sign once the lease names the owner correctly." Honest agents will not object to basic verification. Scammers prefer momentum and will usually try to change the topic or escalate the pressure. Every delay that you introduce gives you a chance to spot the mismatch between the story you are told and the records you can check yourself. If you have already paid and you suspect a scam, act promptly. Contact your bank immediately, report an authorized push payment scam, and request a pay and trace or a hold if the funds are still in flight. Provide the bank with a clear summary. I paid a deposit believing it was an authorized rental trust account. I request immediate action to flag and recall the payment and to provide a formal incident reference. Open a police case and save every proof. Chat logs, emails, voice notes, receipts, bank confirmations, and screenshots of the original listing and profile. Report the listing on the platform where you found it, and if the scam piggybacked on a real building, alert the building manager so they can warn others. Agencies whose names are being misused often help by publicly clarifying which accounts are genuine and which phone numbers are not theirs. If you discover that a real agency's identity has been spoofed, notify that agency. They may issue a warning post that helps others avoid the same trap. If you suffered a loss, consider seeking advice on civil recovery, but be realistic about outcomes. Funds are often moved quickly across accounts. The first objective is to stop further loss and to generate an official record that may help banks and platforms connect patterns across cases. Let us return briefly to the three composites and the defensive posture for each. In the viewings that vanish, a live video verification that shows the actual unit interior, and a call to the agency's public landline to confirm mandate and trust account would likely have stopped the payment. In the overseas owner, a real escrow would have placed the money in a third-party account with clear release conditions. which the scam story avoids by substituting a courier and a refund promise. In the real flat, wrong landlord, insisting on a lease draft that names the real owner and a trust account deposit, plus a deed check in advance, would likely have exposed the mismatch between the person at the unit and the lawful lessor. The psychology underneath is consistent. Scammers offer relief from the anxiety of a tight market. They offer a solution that promises certainty right now. They offer to remove hassle later with a refund promise. The antidote is to slow the interaction and replace emotion with a checklist that is boring, verifiable, and repeatable. The person who truly owns or truly manages a property can prove it without theatrics, and the money can wait in a proper account until the paperwork matches the records. As you listen, you might wonder whether a lower price can ever be legitimate. Yes, sometimes it can be because of a renovation, a short notice move-in, or an owner who values a stable tenant over top rand. Even then, the basics remain the same. You verify the owner. You verify the agent mandate. You sign a lease that names the correct parties. You pay into a trust account. You keep a copy of the signed lease and the proof of payment. You collect keys inside the unit from the person you have verified, not from a courier with a story. The best time to run your checklist is before your emotions are engaged. Create a simple document you can reuse. Write down the 5 steps: deeds lookup, mandate and office call, live video verification, lease draft, and trust account check. Save the wording you will use to push back. Save the bank and agency numbers you will call for verification. Send this checklist to a friend and ask them to hold you accountable before you send any deposit. Your future self will thank you. If you are a legitimate agent or owner, consider how you can make this process easier for tenants. Offer to show the mandate without being asked. Share the office landline and invite the tenant to confirm. Provide the lease draft early with a clear deposit clause that references a trust account. Demonstrate the unit interior on a live video call before asking for any funds. The more transparent you are, the safer the market becomes for everyone. We will close with a short recap. The rental deposit vanish relies on under-market pricing, borrowed credibility, urgency, non-escrow payments, and rapid disappearance. You counter it with verification at the owner and agent level, with live proof at the unit, with a proper lease, and with deposits that go to ring-fenced accounts. If the story you are told resists verification, the safest move is to walk away and keep your deposit in your own account. There will be other apartments and other chances. There is only one you. Next time, we examine the courier card swap. It is the phone call that convinces you to hand your bank card to a stranger. We will break down the script, show you the exact pressure points, and give you the words that end the call safely. Follow or subscribe so you do not miss it, and share this episode with someone who is apartment hunting right now. Narration generated with AI, facts verified from public sources. No legal advice is given in this episode. The purpose is prevention and public safety. If you have a case tip or a documented pattern to share, use a safe channel and remove personal information that could identify non-public individuals.